Oi, oi, welcome my great people, great listeners and great viewers of Arsenal Future. It's so great to be back, and as you probably can tell, my voice is getting better. It's getting stronger and stronger by the day, and very soon you're going to hear the real Chrissy from Arsenal Future's voice. And the moment the last couple of streams we've done, because it's a new channel, I've only done 2 streams or 2 videos, my voice has been crackly and I've lost it, but it's coming back slowly. So how are you doing out there? I hope you're all fine. Did you enjoy the bank holiday? I certainly did. I went out. It's nice outside. What? I had to leave my jacket indoors. I've not done that for maybe about 5 months, 6 months. But anyway, we're here to talk about Arsenal, and just a few things about Arsenal. I've been watching a few streams today. I watched some of AFTV. I watched some of Curtis Shaw. I watched some of Jez, Lee Gunner, and a few others. And they give me a lot of inspiration. I mean, I'm more of an Arteta out guy, and than a anti-Arteta than pro. And I don't hate Arteta, but I just feel as though he's not taking us. He's not going to take us to where we want to get to. And yes, we've made great strides the last couple of years. When he came his first well, it wasn't his first full season. It was because he came halfway through the season, and we won the FA Cup with all the players didn't belong to him. There were some of Wenger's players and some of Unai Emery's players, and in time, of course, he would break the team up. So a lot of players like Aubameyang, and of course we saw Lacazette last summer, and people like Danny Ceballos. He was on loan anyway, and a few others. Socrates, David Luiz, we bought and he sold. And now this team, I think, is a lot better team than the team inherited, because at least this team has an identity. Because I remember there was a time when a lot of us were saying, "Oh, where's Arsenal's identity? Where's Arteta's identity?" And it took him a couple of years to find that identity. But now, thankfully, he's found it. And even though he's found it, we've done a lot. We've done quite well. We should have won the league. I'm still smarting from that. I'm still a real peed off about that, because I think we've got the record for the longest team at the top of the table without winning a league, and so there you go, we've broken another record, and up for bad reasons again. But I'm still smarting from that. I think it might take me a few weeks to get over that, and so usually I'm very enthusiastic for the summer transfer window to take precedence, but this year for some reason I'm just not feeling it. I just have a feeling that we're not going to get the players we want, and we're going to be outbidded. We're going to get outbidded by our rivals, and we'll get some good players, but it probably won't be the players that we want, and the players that are going to push us on to that next level. And that's what, in theory, what we all want. We want the players that are going to propel us to league titles, take Premier League title status, and also for challenging for the Champions League. We've never won the Champions League, and it really irks me that a club the size of Arsenal have never really won the Champions League. And we should have won that at least twice in our history, maybe even 3 times. You've got teams like Nottingham Forest have won it twice. Aston Villa won it, and there's clubs on the continent. People, clubs like Porto have won it. Feyenoord have won it. Steaua Bucharest have won it, and there's a few other less, fancy clubs and fancy teams out there have actually won the European Cup stroke Champions League, and we haven't, and we're one of the biggest clubs in the world. We're probably the biggest club never to have won it. So let's hope that somehow, and I don't think Arteta's the man to actually bring us to a Champions League glory. I really don't think so. I think we're going to have to hire someone like Ancelotti or someone like Diego Simeone. They'll come in, and of course they might keep some of the players there already, but they'll add their own players to it and make us properly organised, because I still don't think Arsenal are an organised team, especially at the back. And the midfield will get overrun so often. So we're gonna get if we go and get, for example, Caicedo, who's a great, central defensive midfielder. If we go and get someone like him, and if we go and get someone like the guy from Milinkovic Savic from Lazio, he can break up play, but he's more of an all-action midfielder. He can also go on the front foot, but he can also track back, and he's very good at. And he's very big and strong. He's 6'3", and he's got the height, and he's got that physicality that we need, because we haven't got really physicality. Thomas Partey aside, and I even sometimes feel like Thomas Partey at times against the very best teams lacks a bit of physicality. And look how, I know it's Man City, but look how Man City bullied him. So it's the game away, the Etihad a few weeks ago when we lost 4-1. So we need somebody with that physicality in the midfield, somebody who could carry the ball, Of course, somebody who could tackle, somebody who could hold off a lot of opposition players in our midfield and dominate our midfield. And I think if we went out and got someone like, say, Milinkovic-Savic as well as Caicedo, our midfield will be sorted for the next few years. Even though Milinkovic-Savic, I think, is 27, he's still got a few years left. Zubimendi is another one who interests me. Zubimendi from, I think, it's really Sociedad. And I know Arteta is a keen fan of him. And let's see if we can get him. I like him. I prefer him to Rice. Even though they're slightly different players, because Declan Rice is more of a, as Eric Cantona said all those years ago about Didier Deschamps, he's a water carrier, whereas Milinkovic-Savic, that's Declan Rice. Milinkovic-Savic he's a bit of a water carrier, but he's got more functions, more features to his game. He's able to mix it up, and of course Caicedo, even though he's only 21, he's a boss. He reminds me of Patrick Vieira when Patrick Vieira was his age. But the only thing is, Patrick Vieira was on another level because he was more of an all-rounder than Caicedo, and he was already a world star at that time. Caicedo was not quite a world star yet because I suppose he plays for Ecuador, which is not really a fancied nation. And he plays for a club like Brighton, even though they're a good team and they've got a good manager, Brighton are not a big club. So if he was at Arsenal and maybe playing for someone like Brazil, I think everybody would be talking about him. So let's just see. We're linked with those two. We're linked with Zubimendi. We've been linked with him for a long time, since maybe about January. And we've been linked with Caicedo since probably about last year as well, last summer. We didn't get him. We're linked with Tielemans, but I don't want Tielemans anymore because I think Tielemans' stock has gone down. And I know we probably could get him on a free transfer because I think his contract has run out. But I don't want him because he's got that lazy vibe about him. And a lot of people have been saying, even a lot of Leicester City supporters have been saying that Tielemans is a bit of a, he's lazy and so on. And a few years ago, he was playing really well for Leicester when they won the FA Cup. I think he scored in the final against, who was it against? Was it City? But anyway, so there you have it. So I prefer Zubimendi and Caicedo as our midfield. We're probably going to need three, but I've heard a rumour today that Arteta said that Xhaka might actually stay. So the press and the fans are saying that Xhaka, the last game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, we won 5-0, was possibly his farewell match. Now, I'm hearing reports that Arteta is now saying that he may not be leaving after all. Well, words to the effect of, who says that Xhaka's leaving? So it could be that Xhaka gets a reprisal and he stays. And let's just see how this happens. So we're going to have Xhaka, possibly, Thomas Partey, possibly Zubimendi, Milinkovic-Savic and Jorginho and Elneny. So we've got a lot of midfielders there. And let's not forget we still have the likes of Fabio Vieira. I don't want to say Vieira because Vieira, there's only one Vieira. But Fabio V, well, he's more of an attacking midfielder. But I think we might send him out on loan. We've got Lokonga still on loan. It could be quite possible that, Vincent Kompany at Burnley, they're now promoted. They could sign him. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of possibilities around Arsenal at this moment in time. So we have to see what's going to happen. But I really want, and we're also linked with Gundogan, but I wouldn't take him because he's probably past it now. And let him go abroad. We need some new, fresh ideas. We need some new, fresh midfielders and some guys that are going to come in and make a difference for us. Because I want that league title. Man City shouldn't have it the whole way. I want that league title, and ultimately, I'm going to also want that Champions League title as well. Because a club of our size, as I said before, have never won it. We need to win that, And there you have it. There's more players we linked with, like Cancelo, who's still a Manchester City player, but I'm not sure Pep will sell him to us because he's one of the best right backs in the world. He can also play as a winger as well, so he's quite versatile on the right hand side. And I'm not so sure Pep will sell, even though they fell out. I'm not so sure Pep will sell a player like that to us because he's a very good player. He's one of the best players in his position in the whole world. So Pep knows that if we get another world-class player from them, he knows that we almost took the title off them this season. And so he gives us another one of his top players. It could be a lot further down the line. We could be a lot further down the line next season. So I'm not so sure. I'm not so confident that we're going to get Cancelo from Man City. We might have to look for somebody else on the continent. The fresh links have been hotting up again. That youngster from Spain who we were linked with in January window. And so we'll see if we go out and get someone like him. Or we might even get somebody who's under the radar for the time being. And so I'm going to come off of transfers for a bit and talk about our season. I'm going to summarise for a few minutes. I'm not going to summarise thoroughly. I'm just going to give my opinion about how our season went. And I might even do a second video about our season, like a second summary down the line. But my opinion is this, that I think that we threw the title away. Some people say we bottled it. Yeah, we could say we bottled it, but I think we threw it away. The season, that championship, that title was there for us to win. And I know that we lost Gabriel Jesus earlier in the season before the World Cup, but we recovered because Eddie Nketiah came in and he did well. I don't think it was that. I think when we lost Saliba, losing Saliba was really what curtailed our season. And I reckon if he hadn't got injured, because our stability at the back of that Saliba is really non-existent. And Gabriel had to do all the hard work. He had to cover a lot for Rob Holding. And of course, we know that Rob Holding, with all due respect, he's a lovely guy, but he's not good enough for Arsenal. He's not the level that Arsenal need. Just like Eddie Nketiah, it's not the level that Arsenal need, you know. And Lokonga wasn't that as well. And that's why we loaned him out to Crystal Palace. And it's very ironic because as soon as we loaned him out to Crystal Palace, our ex-legend Patrick Vieira loses his job. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. My voice is totally, it's coming back, but it's still not there. So I'm mispronouncing and misspelling words. So please forgive me. But I think you get the gist. Yeah. Patrick Vieira got sacked, and just after Samuel Lokonga rocked up there, and so there you have it. But Roy Hodgson's there, and now of course the season's ended, and he might go to Vincent Kompany at Burnley, newly promoted, who knew about him from when he was in Belgium, when he was at Anderlecht, and so on. So we'll see if Vincent Kompany takes him back, and gives him a chance. I don't know if he's going to buy him or if he's going to loan him. My personal opinion, I think there's a player in there, but I don't think he's got what it takes to really make it at Arsenal. So what I would do with him, I'll probably sell him. I'll sell him for maybe £15 million, no more than that. Fabio Vieira is an interesting one, because I actually like Fabio Vieira, and I would actually probably keep him. And I think when he came in a lot towards the end of the season. I think that was one of the reasons why we failed so miserably, because he hasn't got that strength, that physical strength to really hold off his marker and hold other players off. I reckon if he'd had that strength to do so, we would have seen a different player. He's going to go in the gym in the summer. He's going to go in the gym and work it out and try and build back on some physicality, try and eat some would say jollof rice and rice and peas and chicken and hard food from yard. Us Jamaicans know what that's all about, and some of our African counterparts know what the jollof rice and all that is. But yes, he needs to go and eat some proper food, go in the gym, bulk up, focus his game, focus his head. I'll even try and look at some videos, because he's more of an attacking midfielder. I would actually look at some videos of KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, people like those, maybe even Steven Gerrard. Look at a video of some players who played in his position, some of the very best players of our time, and just try and study them, and see how they play the game and what they had, what attributes they had to their game, what they did in certain situations and certain positions. And I think if Fabio Vieira did that, he will improve his game. He's only still 22, so it could take him. We could possibly not see the peak of his game or the best of his game for another 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 years down the line. You see, so I think we're going to be very, very patient with him. But I do feel that there's a player in there. I'm not so sure about Samuel Lokonga. There might be a good player in there as well. But I see more of it in Fabio Vieira, I've got to say. Our season, for me, as I said, we should have won the league. We got knocked out of all the cups. I thought we were going to win the Europa League. I really did, because I looked at some of the teams in there, with the exception of Manchester United and possibly Roma. Nobody really gave me any concern. And I think if we got to the final against either Roma, I know that Jose has this Indian sign over us, but I think this is a different Arsenal for the one he played against when Wenger was there, because that team was a crumbly team. It was just after the Invincibles, and that team was a bit of a crumbly team. So, as I was saying, I kind of lost my bearings. But yes, as I was saying, I reckon we could have won the Europa League, and then win the Europa League and finish second behind this great Man City team. And I think that would have been an awesome season for us, because A, we would have got a trophy, and a European trophy, and a trophy that we've never won, and B, we would have still qualified for Europe, and just behind one of the best teams we've ever seen in the Premier League era. So there you have it. I think Saliba was a really, really big doubt. Was a big loss for us, but we never saw it coming. Everybody looked stable. We never saw it coming, and so we lost Saliba for what? It was a Sporting Lisbon game, and we lost him after that. I thought we was only going to be up for 2 or 3 games, but he missed the whole of the season, and that curtailed and derailed our season as a consequence. You see, I will talk about the season some more in greater detail another time, but for now we'll give you this. Don't forget to subscribe out to our channel, like all our videos. We've only put up 3 videos. This is the 3rd video now. So like all our videos, share them please, leave your comments, and tell your friend about our new channel, Arsenal Future. And thank you very much for your time. You look after yourselves. We should be back tomorrow, or we'll see how it goes. I've got another channel, so when I do some posts for that channel, I'll probably, if I've got the time and the energy, I'll come back on here and do some more stuff on there. But you're going to be getting a lot of content, my people. So you keep it tuned, look after yourselves, and speak to you soon. Adios, arrivederci, salam, sila. Hi.